can I just say one thing firstly? I love the name Eat Sleep Boxing Repeat.
Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. It's a pleasure, as always, to be joined by Danny. We are in final prediction mode this time for the unification fight happening in the bantamweight division in Tokyo, Japan, Sunday, June 8th. The one, the only Junto Nakatani is fighting Ryosuke Nishida, as I said, in a unification bout with the WBC and IBF titles on the line. Both fighters undefeated. Both fighters only in their 20s as well. Both southpaws, coincidentally, too. So, yeah, looking forward to this one, Danny. But please take it away. What is your final prediction for Nakatani Nishida?
Yes, Paul, cheers. Really looking forward to this. Loving the Japanese shows at the minute. Me and you both watched Manasori Rikishi against Sugar Nunez the other day. That was a great card, and really looking forward to this as well. We've had these 4 Japanese world champions at bantamweight for a while now, clamoring for unifications. And yeah, Nakatani widely viewed as the top dog, and I actually think Ryosuke Nishida is probably the weak link of them. Got a good win against Emmanuel Rodriguez, established at that weight for a while. However, Rodriguez had announced his retirement 5 months before that, saying he was feeling out of love with the sport. So was that the best version of Rodriguez? Probably not. Watching some tape of Nishida, he's a good fighter. I think he's got maybe a bit more power than his knockout ratio would suggest. However, he's very easy to hit, defensively irresponsible, and that's a recipe for disaster against Junto Nakatani, widely regarded as one of the pound-for-pound best punchers in the sport. I think it'll maybe be a slow enough opening. Nakatani does like to take his time, download the data, to use that old cliche. But as I say, once Nishida is forced to close the distance, I see him falling over that front foot, leaving a gap for Nakatani, who's arguably got the best straight left hand in boxing at the minute. You could certainly make a case, and I think you'll find the target with it and stop Nishida somewhere around 5 or 6 rounds.
Yeah, interesting. Great summary, Danny. I think, picking up on what you said there, Nakatani definitely one of the stars in world boxing, I suppose, now. Like, I mean, maybe the certain area maybe overshadows him as the Japanese number one, of course. But like, you look at Nakatani and you think, some of his knockouts, like that one over Maloney, is still one that sends shivers down your spine, even though it was a few years ago. That will always be at the front of my mind when talking about Junto Nakatani fights. So he's clearly a impulsive puncher. His record does suggest that as well. Obviously, 23 stoppages in his 30 victories. As you said, Nishida perhaps more of a puncher than his record suggests. He only had the 10 fights though as a pro, just the 2 stoppages, but could he be a bit more of a puncher than that? Probably. But yeah, you've made a few good points there. The Rodriguez one, of course, a really, really good victory on paper for Nishida. But like I said, what version of Manny Rodriguez was that? This fight was it last time out against Donsu as well. It's another good, decent name, I suppose, on paper. But again, was it, how good actually is he? We will find out against Nakatani. As you said at the top, like these 4 world champions, all from Japan in the bantamweight division, no unifications as of yet. This being the first one, I think for like looking at the names, there's no doubt that Nakatani is widely regarded as the best one. I think he probably is. Without we were more exposed to Nakatani as well, of course, than the others, which is only natural. But I do believe that he's the real deal. He'll take some beating in the bantamweight division. Whether or not he ends up moving up to super bantamweight remains to be seen. That Naoya Inoue super fight is always going to be talked about too, and biggest fight in Japanese boxing history. I would hazard a guess that. But yeah, anyway, for this fight itself against Nishida, you can't disagree with anything you've said, Danny. I mean, I think it's going to be a Junto Nakatani victory. I think it's going to be a Nakatani stoppage victory. So it's just really when that comes. You've gone from 5 or 6. I'll maybe go tad later. I'll go rounds 7 or 8. So drift into the second half of the fight. Junto Nakatani to secure the 24th stoppage of his career. So yeah, hopefully the fight lives up to the billing. Hopefully Nishida, his game. I'm sure he will be. He'll firmly believe he has what it takes to win as well, and give a bit back to Nakatani. Oh, interesting that it's going to be. I always find it interesting when 2 southpaws fight each other, because usually it's a southpaw. They're used to fighting orthodox fighters. So yeah, he's someone fighting a mirror image of himself almost. It could be intriguing as well. But yeah, I believe that Nakatani leaves the ring with those 2 belts wrapped around his waist, the green and the red one. So yeah, I can't disagree with anything you said, Danny. Just before we round off, we're both predicting Nakatani to win and come out victorious via stoppage. This is then he would be the unified champion. Do you think then after this it's go after one of the other champions, whoever that may be, perhaps come undisputed? We've seen that more often in boxing recently. Or do you think, you know what, you've come on unified champion, you're probably number one, no point in fighting the rest. Move up to super bantam and try and chase that super fight with Inoue. What do you want to see him do?
Yeah, I think it's unlikely a move up will come next, just because if he is to move up to Super Bantam, it will be for that Inoue fight, as you rightly say. And Inoue is booked in to fight Akhmadaliev in September. So Nakatani, if he is to come through against Nishida, will look to have one more, you'd imagine. And of course, we all want to see it be another unification. And I think the two other champions against Nakatani at Bantam make for great fights. I don't know if anyone saw Satsume's win over Inouye's brother, Takuma. That was an excellent performance. I've never seen a man throw as many punches, did not stop coming forward. That would pose an interesting challenge for Nakatani. And then Takei, who we watched again on the Rikishi Nunez card, looks an absolutely brilliant fighter, southpaw as well, excellent straight left hand, got rid of his opponent in really good fashion. So those are, two fights I would be more than happy to see whilst we wait for that mega fight against the Inoue, as you say. They're two fighters who would arguably be the best win on Nakatani's resume. Certainly Takei, I think, would be. A lot of people are tipping him to go on and be a pound for pound star as well. Obviously, we want to see the Inoue fight, as you say. I mean, my knowledge of 1970s and 1980s Japanese boxing isn't maybe what it should be, but certainly in my time following the sport, to be the best all Japanese clash. And yeah, it's a fight that splits opinion amongst, I'm sure, Japanese fans, but certainly the hardcore boxing fans that I speak to about it and see talk about it in social media. But I think that's potentially one for 2026. So whilst you wait, why not try and get another unification, maybe become undisputed if time allows for it, and then that makes the fight against the Inoue all the bigger if you do come through with 3 or even 4 belts.
Yeah, you make a good point, mate. I think if it is going to be the Inoue fight, it will be midway maybe through 2026. So, could he have another 1 or 2 fights after this one before Inoue? Yeah, probably. Could they be unifications, as you said, against the 2 other champions? And yeah, just can't disagree with you, mate. Doesn't make for a fantastic video. Maybe we all want a bit of disagreement, but yeah, I think when you look at the 2 other champions and then you look at Nishida here, yeah, you probably do say Nishida is the weakest of the 4 altogether. You still have Nakatani probably as the strongest, but as you said, mate, the other 2 as well, phenomenal fighters, and they would make for unbelievable fights against Nakatani. And yeah, I for one hope they both come to fruition as well. Would I back Nakatani to win them both? I suppose it maybe depends on how he gets on against Nishida. But at this moment in time, gun to my head, it probably would. Again, just because I'm maybe more exposed to him and I've watched far more of him. Maybe my opinion will be swayed. Maybe yours will as well. But yeah, fingers crossed all these fights get made, and we see these massive blockbuster, all Japanese clashes down the line. Danny, appreciate your opinion and feedback as always. And guys watching this video, let us know in the comments who you think's going to win this fight between Nakatani and Nishida, who becomes the unified champion at bantamweight. And yeah, let us know what you think of what we said there about Nakatani against the other champions, or even against Inoue too. If you're not doing so already, subscribe to the channel and please drop a like on the video as well. Danny, absolute pleasure as always, mate. Speak to you again soon.
Cheers, Paul. Thanks for watching, folks.